Your very recent life is now about to pass before your eyes. Enjoy the last few days one more time. Fierce compassion is what we've spent millennia recognizing as fundamental to humanity and its purpose. It's our capacity to resist and refuse, to act and to intervene, to be fierce and to be obstinate in our response to crisis.
Have I seen progress? Definitely. Have I measured progress? Absolutely. Have I seen eradication of endemic problems? Not really.
If each one of us channels our fierce compassion and uses the resources we have available to us, we can shape a world that is fairer and better than the world we inherited.
How do we connect the movements, the people on the front lines, with the evidence? That's what's important ultimately. I think that's the way we're going to get there.
What we want is global justice. I am asking everyone here if there's any way that you can help. I'm just a photographer, and I just want to move this issue forward so that the world knows.
What needs to happen is we need to send the message of refugees as being assets. People with capacities, people with skill sets.
Our job on climate change is by no means done, but I've never been more optimistic.
There are leaders out there. We just have to cultivate a sense in them that they belong to a greater cause.
We look at journalism that progresses, journalism that can effectively help people to move on.
All of us have the capacity for that piece of courage, that piece of, I can do the next right thing.
If you want to make a difference, you can make one, but it starts here.
This is the moment when we don't just recognize individuals and their organizations, but the way social entrepreneurs lead.
That transformation in the relationship between law and people, it's possible. I've seen it happening in some of the most unlikely places, but it requires us to come together.
This crystal clear moment when you meet your true self, when all the shades are gone and the dust is clear and you know that you made the right decision. It is an amazing feeling.
May all beings be happy and healthy. May all beings live with ease. May us humans be led by love and fierce compassion.
Let ours be the generation that refuses to accept that whether a child lives or dies is determined solely by the postcode that they are born in. It turns out that the right thing and the smart thing happen to be the same thing. I believe when someone tells a lie, they're not just a liar. I believe when someone takes something, they're not just a thief. I think even if you kill someone, you are not just a killer, and justice requires that we understand the other things that people are.
Looking at all these change makers today, I feel only positive and see potential and promise.
We know what's right, and we've seen what's wrong. There are still some people who doubt that we have the will to act. But always remember that the will to act is itself a renewable resource. Thank you very much.
Okay, our forum now is ended. I think this poetry thing has rather gone to my head. And before you leave this magical island, I have the privilege of bidding you farewell until next year. Be clear that what you do is important, and be clear that fierce compassion, energy, creativity are forces of light. And be clear that you have each other as you work to let the light in. I love your work, and I love this family. And on that emotional note, this is me being emotional, by the way. On this emotional note, I wish you safe travels. There's lunch to refuel you and a chance to say your final farewells back at the business school. And I'm going to leave you with the words of novelist Henry James, overheard by his nephew. 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. You are kind. Thank you.